Yeah, we're live.
Oh, we're live. Oh, okay. Well, good morning, everybody. I kept waiting to see the go live button come up and I didn't see it, but we are live. So, welcome to Memory Bound Papercraft Store in Ankeny, Iowa. I'm Kelly, and welcome Janet, who is in the background, and she'll be helping answer questions. She will link product that we show you if you need a quick push of the buttons to go find what we're talking about. She'll help us with that and a lot of other things. You guys, Janet does things that you don't even know she does. And we appreciate that. And then also a thank you to Doug, because Doug's here this morning with us. We have a couple people that are out for the morning. And so Doug has volunteered. Do you want to say hello, Doug?
Good morning, everyone.
So, and Doug helped me out Saturday also, which was really sweet. But anyway, welcome. Today we're continuing our blind date with the project.
I'm going to be Katie today.
Oh, yeah, Doug's going to be Katie. He really is being Katie because she wasn't able to come in this morning and she'll be here later. Today we're continuing our blind date with a project. And that was a bundle kit that we had available a few weeks ago and we sold out. We're going to be making 3 projects from that, but I hope you join us, whether or not you have the bundle, whether you're live or later, because a lot of what we're doing are techniques that you can use for other projects and use other product to make the same thing. So that's what we're doing today. Yesterday, Teresa kicked us off. And Teresa, I've got projects just all over the table here, but she made a card with the Magic of Winter blind date. And then she also made a piece, this cute little tag piece that's on a doily. And she showed us about, she put it on this card, but I'm afraid it came off this morning, or she put it on a tag. So I get to continue on, and today what I'm going to be making is a rip and flip card. Hey, how many of you remember the old rip and flip? A treat bag and a little mini booklet. And then tomorrow, Sarah's going to be here, and she's making a coaster, and we call them coasters all the time, but sometimes I don't know if people understand what they are. And basically, a coaster is a coaster. I don't know, maybe you can hear it if I put it over by my microphone. Just like you would get to set your favorite beverage on at a restaurant or a bar, but these are blanks and they're very affordable and they make a nice surface, firm, but not like, super thick that you can craft on. So she'll be here tomorrow with that. And then Katie's going to wrap things up on Thursday with a really fun card making technique inspired by Tammy. So we've got a lot of fun coming, and we're going to show you today what we're going to be making is a treat bag. It's a little paper bag, really cute. And then we have another card we're going to make, and we have a little booklet. And I actually stitched the seam. So I'm anxious to show you how to make this too. So we're going to be making that. And then we have a couple things to show you before we get started, but we're going to switch our camera around because Janine has been crafting. Oh, let me move this out of the way. So can you switch the camera, please, Doug?
Done.
Okay, so Janine has been a crafty girl, and she brought in a couple things that she made, and I really wanted to show them to you because they're so cute. This is a new stamp from All and Create. It's called Workshop D. And you've seen D before. Here is Devil D. It says the devil is in the details. Catch me on the dark side. No tricks, just treats. So that's D in her devil costume. And then Janine had seen this one, Workshop D. And we showed this on Saturday. We had a big, long honkin' video Saturday. And we showed lots of new product, and this was one of them. And it's here's the actual stamps. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it's $10.99. So Janine took it and she stamped it on this. It's actually on a watercolor panel from Tim Holtz Distress watercolor paper, and she colored it with colored pencils. And I thought it was so cute. I wanted to show you guys this morning. Come for the craft, stay for the chaos. Let's get messy. And I love her shoes. She's got really cute shoes that wrap up around the ankle. And her supplies are a little bit more neatly organized than mine. And then the other thing that Janine crafted with, this is called Warm Hug, and it's a die set from All and Create. It's one of their new releases. It's got the mug, If you want to put it in the memory decks, it's got the memory decks background, the whipped cream, chocolate. She showed me the chocolate and I had to go eat a piece of real chocolate. And I'll show you what she made with that. Here it is. And she used the memory decks background. You could easily cut around here. There's even an embossed line to follow. If you wanted to cut it off, you could do that. And then the other pieces to it are in her bag here. Let me get those out because they're pretty fun too. You'll see what inspired me to go have a piece of Dark Dove chocolates. So there's the chocolate. There's the chocolate, and then there's also a little marshmallow. And she said she's going to do something to color in the marshmallows. Because you can't, there are embossed lines, but they're kind of hard to see, but I love that chocolate. And she's put a little bit of, looks like maybe glossy accents or something on the whipped cream, so it shines. All right, so thank you, Janine, very much for bringing in your crafty projects today. It's really nice to actually see something in action. Okay, now I think we're going to be ready for our crafting time. And we are going to be crafting with the blind date with a project, The Magic of Winter. The paper and things are from Echo Park. And the first project I want to make is this card. And this is one of the classic techniques that we've shown over and over. It's the rip and flip. It's kind of hard to see the torn edge because of the paper being so light colored and whitish. But I'll show you how I made the card. It's an A2. And let me get my pieces. Look how prepared I am, everybody. Are you surprised? Oh, Val said that the chocolate looks like it's made from velvet. That's true. It looks very real. Oh, so for this card, I have a card base. I'm going to try to read your comments because I'm, looks like a lot of weather reports. I've got an A2 card base, and this is in your pack. Let me adjust my camera just a little bit. This is in your bundle, but you know, a lot of you have A2 card bases. And it's a really nice heavy card base, so I'm going to take my bone folder and just give it a good crease. Give it a good smush. And then for my background paper, I'm using the Snowy Pines. And I'm going to cut that 5 1/4 by 5, and I haven't cut it yet, but it's this paper that's a little bit darker, well, a lot darker on one side and a lot lighter on the other. So let me cut that. Now this is a horizontal card. So I always add an inch when I'm going to rip and flip. So 5, let's see, 5 1/4, which I think I cut that. I think I cut that 5 by 5 1/4. So let me get that piece and we'll talk about it here. Looks like I love hearing all about your weather. Oh, it looks like Penny is a rip and flips, and so do I. So what I usually do when I'm doing a rip and flip, wherever I'm going to rip, I cut it an extra inch. Probably don't need a full inch, but I'm cutting it an extra inch. So normally you would cut this 4 for an A2 card because this is 4 1/4, but I cut it 5. So I cut the width, the normal 5 1/4. So 5 1/4 by 5 for a horizontal card. And I'm going to show you a vertical card in just a minute. And I had some extra paper here because I wanted to talk about tearing. So when you tear, if you hold, I'm right-handed, so I usually pull up with my right hand and I hang on to it with my left hand. Whatever's in my left hand, you're going to see the white. So if I want the dark to have the white, then I pull with my right, pull up with the other side. If I want the other color, maybe I want to show the white on this lighter color, then I would pull up and have whatever's facing you when you're pulling up is going to have your white little edge there. You can see it. Okay, so for this card, so there's just a little review. Whatever you're looking at, when you pull up, what you're looking at is going to have the white edge on it. And you can ink that if you want. I'm just going to rip this about in the middle. And on my original card, and like I said, it's kind of hard to see, but the white has the little torn piece. So on this one, we're going to do it the opposite way. So I'm going to tear it kind of in half. And there you can see the white edge. You know what you could do on this? You could use both. You could use the same color and you would have the just the white little torn piece. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to do it a little different than I did it on my sample because I think it's nice to see different ways. So let's glue this down. And the way this was sized, it has a 1/4 of an inch around the edges. I should have brought my T-square in to line that up a little better. And now I'm going to set this here. And you can see we're going to have a little bit different look. So then let's see. So then we're going to move this out of the way. So then we're going to use this, take time to chase snowflakes. Whoops. But we're going to trim it down. You can trim down your cut aparts if you want to. And we're going to trim 1/4 of an inch off of it, off of each side. So what I usually do is just trim a little bit off the right side and then a little bit. Then I line it up for on the left side so that I'm at 3 3/4 because we're cutting 1/4 of an inch off the top and the bottom. And you guys, I'm using that Spellbinders trimmer that Peggy and I both love so much. So you can see how I kind of wanted to keep it centered. So instead of cutting 1/4 inch off one side and the top or the bottom, I just cut a little bit off of everything. So that's my first layer. And then I needed a piece of the cornflower color vibe that's in your kit. And I cut that 4 by 3. So it's just a little bit bigger. And you know, you could do this with any type of cut aparts. They make such nice, easy cards. And then I needed a white cardstock, so everything gets bigger by 1/4 of an inch. So this is a 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, and I'm going to attach that on here. And the reason that I added this white piece is just to make it pop a little more because it's dark. And look at that. I love that. So let's attach that. You could pop this up. I'm not going to on this card, but I'll show you what I did on the other card. Okay, I don't think we need those. So you can see that every layer got 1/4 of an inch bigger. And then here is my original card. So you can see the 2 styles. And then we have a little snowflake that you can, and we do have packs of these snowflakes. So if you wanted to purchase just a package of snowflakes, they're like 99 cents. And I think we have some left. And then I just put a snowflake on it. Now on this card, I put some gems throughout on the little pattern there. You can see this one. What I'm going to do is get out our gems from Honeybee, and we're using the Honeybee Winter Wonder gems, and they're really great because you've got kind of you got a white solid, you got a clear, lots of blues, light to dark, and then you've got this kind of iridescent one on the left. And those are $5.99. So let me get this out. And this time I decided I was going to just put one in the middle of the snowflake, the big snowflake. So right there. So there you go. Same product, same items, just done a little differently. Okay, so that's project number 1. And then our next project, I thought it'd be really fun just to do something different. And this is a little treat bag. And it's made with a little white bag that's in your bundle. Now, if you did not get the blind date bundle, this is what's in your bundle to make this. But if you did not get that, we have cute little craft bags. They're $1.49 for 8, so they're very affordable. And they are just slightly smaller, but they'd be perfect to make this for a winter treat or Valentine's treat. And these bags are $1.49 for 8. And Rhonda, thank you for the heart. I'm really glad that you liked it. I think let me look at my screen here. There we go. Okay. All right, so let's get started on this. I really thought this was fun, and Katie was going to use this, and she changed her mind, and I was really happy because then I could use it myself and use it for my own good. So we're going to use this winter time with all the different words, kind of a collage of winter words with a cute little bird on it. And we're going to trim it down. I'm calling this bird words, and we need to trim bird words down to take 1/4 inch off like we just did. So what I want to do is just take a little bit off of each side. So I cut off my first side, and this is how you can kind of keep it centered. And then I'm going to set it at 2 3/4 and take a little bit off that side. Whoops. And then we want it to be 3 3/4. So I'm going to take a little bit off the bottom here. And then I'm lining this up at 3 3/4. And I think I'm going to have to take a little bit off the top. And then I'm going to have to go back to that bottom and take a little bit more off. Okay. And if you don't take, you can leave the length more if you want to, because there's plenty of room down here at the bottom if you just want to. I skinnied it up so that I could see some of the blue on the little cute little bag. Wouldn't this be cute to put some little chocolates in, or maybe a hot chocolate packet, or just some little treats for a teacher or a neighbor? And Lisa just made a comment about the previous card that the inch is the trick for the rip and flip. So you do have to cut that a little bit bigger, and I just do an inch just as a guideline. Okay, so I use the blue color vibe. Now this has got the cornflower on it, so I'm gonna use some of the indigo that's in the bundle, and we're gonna cut a piece that's 3 1/4 by 5.75. There it is, right there. So let's line this up at 3 1/4. And then we have to go 5.75. This was a trick I figured out this morning. Don't need those scraps. So we're gonna trim 1.5 inches off of it. Now, if you have a different bag, you might just have to measure your bag and see where you're at with it and just go from there. On these little bags, this tends to work well. Oops, I guess I'm going to need my trimmer, because then we're going to take our bag and we're going to score it at 4.75. So I'm going to lay it down here. This is the Spellbinders trimmer. It also has a scoring blade that actually fits down here. You don't ever have to take it in or out, which is why I love it. And I'm going to set it right on 4.75. Let me figure out where that is. Make sure I get the right measurement. Okay, and then, oops, get that blade off of there. And then I'm just going to score it. Now, if you don't have a score, it's okay. You can just fold it. Let's see, where is my bag? Oh, right here. So this is what we're making. It's just so cute. So the easy part is taking your paper and just putting it here and then fold this over like so. Now I folded it over so that it had this little notch here. We could even trim that off if you wanted to. So I'm going to get my tape runner here. And I'm going to be pretty generous with it. If you have your liquid, I went to use my precision glue press this morning, and you guys, I'm all out of glue. So I need to fill up my glue bottle. This is really nice for projects like this because it is liquid glue, so it sticks nicely, and you don't have to worry about putting a pin in and out of the tip when you put the cap back on. Okay, so what does Diane says, easy way to remember, inch, flip, stripe. Love it. Oh gosh, I love it. I'm glad you guys like that little inch trick. Okay, so we're putting that on here, and then we're going to put this little piece on the top. And what I'm going to do is flip it over. So I have the dots on bottom and the solid on the top. Does not matter a single bit. You can put whatever you want. I'm just mixing it up, giving you some options here. So that goes right there. You're gonna love it how easy this is. And I'm going to burnish that a little bit with my bone folder. And then I took a small punch. You could use, I'm using a little crocodile, and it's got kind of a smaller hole on the side here. And I'm going to punch 2 little holes through the whole bag here. Oops, I got to move the guide. Now you could, this time I think we'll put it in the middle. On the one I made, I put it up on the left side. You can kind of see them there. This time I'm going to do it in the middle just for another option, because why not? And I'm eyeballing. If you need to measure, then you go ahead and just measure. Gosh, this is cute. This is really cute. And I need to open the bag up. I should have brought some chocolates or something to put in here. So then, gosh, you're going to see how easy this is. Oh, whoops, I didn't punch the holes with my, I guess I would have punched the holes in here too, but I can do it from the back. I can see where I've already punched so that I can string them together. Okay, so now I just need a little piece of that twine. Where did I put that? Oh, here it is. So we included in the bundle this navy twine, but white would be good with this, or the light blue would be good with it. Lots of different colors. So let's put this through. Now you're going to want to fill your bag up with treats before you do this, but I wanted to finish it off just so you could see how super cute it is. You could also staple this on with your tiny attacher. Oh, making a bow while everybody's watching, and it slipped out of my fingers. Okay. It's kind of hard to open when you don't have anything inside of it, but I think you can get the idea. Now on this one, the one I made previously, I put a little gem on the bird's eye there, right there. And then I also took my Wink of Stella. And if you guys are familiar with the Wink of Stella pens, they are really super fun. They look like this when you purchase them. There's a little ring in there that you take off to let the ink flow. And it's a brush tip. And it looks like it's silver, but it's not. It is clear. And I just painted right over the bird. And then I'll get up close. You start doing this with the Wink of Stellas, and you just want to go and add it everywhere. But let me get it up close and we'll see if the light shows you the shimmer. Sometimes it's hard to see on the camera. I don't know if you can really see it very well. But you'll have to trust me. There's just a glimmer of shimmer there. So there's our little treat bag. And like I said, we are out of the white bags, but we do have these really cute little craft bags. And they're only $1.49 and you get 8. And wouldn't that be a cute little Valentine treat? Okay, so we've done our card, which I have lost already. Let me get my little notes out of here. Here it is. So we've made our card, we've made our treat bag, and now we're going to make the little booklet. Diane says she loves the Wink of Stella, and seriously, once you start using it, I would, okay, here, let's do it. Let's just do this because what the heck. So here's the card that we made earlier. And somebody, I think, I might have been Sarah, she put Wink of Stella all over this white snowflake. And it was really cool. It looked really neat. So I'm going to see how it works for me. And I'm just putting it on quickly. I'm sure she took her time. And maybe you can see it on there a little bit better. It's just really hard to see in the light. So anyway, Wink of Stella, I know a lot of you use it. Janet says it's great if you're not a glitter person. It's just the right amount of sparkle, and it does dry immediately. All right.
There's also a question on there from Stephanie. She's asking about using paper to cut, but I don't really understand what she's asking. Do you?
Let's see. Let me see if we have any using paper to cut. I'm not sure. We'll have Janet respond to Stephanie and try to get some more details. Oh my gosh, Shelly says memory bound caramels will work. Can you go get us one of our Dutch house caramels, Doug?
Yep.
Shelly, you are so right. And I should have thought of that too. This one just has some crunched up paper because I made it at home in my craft room and didn't have a single treat back there. But I think the caramels, you guys, the Dutch house caramels are the absolute best caramels in the whole world. And they are made in Minnesota. And we discovered them at, okay. So these, I think they're 79 cents. And a lot of husbands who are sitting out in the car waiting for their wives get these. But Doug, where's my bag that I just made? Do you see it anywhere? Does anybody have this trouble? I just made a treat bag and it's not this one, it's the other one. I have no idea where it's at. Okay, well, I'm looking all over my desk and I don't know where I put it, but here's the other one. Yes, I think you could easily put these in there and they are a super treat. And you guys, I'm not kidding. I have lost the bag that we just made. And my desk isn't that dirty, but that's okay. The other thing I wanted to show you for a fun little treat bag is we have this paper bag tote, and this was actually the inspiration for my project. You guys, you want to know what's funny? Doug is looking for it, and now Chris came around the corner. Okay, well, it's somewhere. It's not on my lap. It's not on the floor. See what happens?
Pretty puffy over there.
This is, yeah, it's not under here because that's some other stuff. Oh, that's funny. Okay, well, anyway, I'm sure it will turn up, but this project was totally inspired by this, and this has been around at Memory Bound for a long time. It's directions with all of your dimensions, and you get a paper bag to make it, and we've had lots of different themes. This one, somebody made for graduation, and it's got a little Velcro holding it shut, and you could put, it's even got a little plastic inside. And here's one that was just made for the Christmas season, and it's got a magnet on it holding it. So those are a couple that we've made up with this paper bag tote pattern or directions and picture. Okay, so that was my inspiration. Chris, isn't it crazy? Nobody can find the project I just
Oh
made.
my gosh.
It's funny. I just made it, but that's all right. We're going to move on. But before,
Stephanie is asking, where did you get the quote that's on there? Is it
Oh,
stamped on there, or
that
is
is
it
a very good
paper?
question. That was on a sheet of paper. She says it's with my ribbon flip sets. Somebody said it's with my ribbon flip sets, but okay. It was on a piece of paper like this, Stephanie. And I brought these over today because we did sell out of our blind date kit, but we also have the Simple Vintage Flannel Season, and you could do the same thing with it. You could take any of these and put them on the front of a card, and there are just by cutting them apart, and you could still make something like this, or you could still like put one of these, like this would be really cute on the front of a little treat bag, this little vintage items. And we do have the collection pack, and there is also a paper that's got some big florals you could fussy cut. So that's Flannel Season, which is a great alternative. And the other one, which I was supposed to show you about 15 minutes ago, is called Snow Day from Echo Park. And what I did with Snow Day, I did make a rip and flip card, and this is the vertical one. And I used, because they also have 3x. She asked if it's on my chair. Doug's still looking for it. Oh, that's it. Doug found it. Okay. All right. The missing thing is found, and the reason I lost it was because it's folded flat. So it's found. No worries. Going back to this is Snow Day from Echo Park, and I did the same project exactly that we did with our blind date, except I did it vertical instead of horizontal, but it has the same elements. You can get these 3x4 cut aparts. You can make a card like this with them. You can take one of them and make a project, a little treat bag, especially you guys, if you got the craft, look how cute the craft bags are with that. You'd have to cut these down a little bit, but not much. So I brought that over, and this is what I used, the paper that I used for the rip and flip. It's called Chili Floral, and you can see the two colors. So I wanted to show that so that you know if you don't have the kit, you can do a lot of these techniques anyway. All right, are you guys ready for the last project, the grand finale? Making sure I haven't missed showing you anything. Okay, so the grand finale, we're making this booklet, and it's made with 2 white bags. And oh, here I got my stuff right here. I have a little pile right here that I'm using. It's made with 2 white bags, and we had a couple different styles of white bags because we couldn't reorder exactly what we had before. So you might have got one that's got a little bit of typical paper bag topper on the top, a little kind of, I'm going to say crunchy, kind of zigzaggy, or you might have one that's got a smooth top. And we do have these bags available. They're $2.99, and I think you get 5. Doug, can you scan that and see how many you get with it? So we do have more bags available. So if you wanted to make this same project, you sure could. And there's a couple other things that I want to make sure I get out here to show you. So this little booklet is actually attached because it's sewn right here in the middle with some jute. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And I've got a tip for you.
You get 6 in the bag.
Oh, you get 6. Okay. So the white bags, you get 6 for $2.99. So they're like 50 cents each if you want it. They all make great treat bags. Fold it over, put something for Valentine's on the front, put a cookie in there or something flat, and they'd be perfect too. Everybody's talking about losing stuff. I love that, you guys. Donna says looking for your phone while talking to someone on it, or carrying it in your hand and looking for it. And then, you do your little watch thing, where you can just find it like that. And it's dinging in your hand or something like that. It's so funny. It's so typical. But thanks for making me feel better about myself, everybody. So this is a little booklet. It actually is made out of 2 bags. If I hold it like this, here is one bag, and here is the other bag. And then I've got a couple papers inside there. And I'll show you how I made it, the base, and then we'll go through and I'll show you how I did the pages. All right, Deborah says creative minds are messy. That's probably true. So the pieces that I have 2 bags, and then there's some things we're going to do to the bags, but I'll show you the other pieces. So then I cut a piece of blue color vibe, 5.5 by 3.5-ish. Oh wait, I'm going to do this as we do it. So let's start with the white bags. So I've got my 2 white bags. Now what I did on my book, I cut the opening. I cut this off so it was straight across. You don't have, you can do that if you want. You don't have to. Maybe I should leave it. Maybe I should not do that this time so you can see the difference. Because on here, it's a pretty straight cut, which I think you can see if I do that. So we'll leave it this time. But if you were going to do it, you would just cut just right across here, just to make that a straight edge. Whoops. Oh gosh, I just took the whole top off my trimmer. Let me put that back on. I didn't even know that came off like that. Okay, so then you're going to take 1 bag and you're going to score. I'm going to slide my trimmer up because my scoring is at the bottom here. So you're going to score 2.75 from the opening. Now this is interesting because I didn't cut the top off, but we'll do it anyway and see what happens. So, whoops, let me get that cutting blade out of here. So I'm going to just score this 2.75. Go gentle because it could very easily through. And then my other bag, I'm going to score at 3 inches from the opening. Let me open this up. And like this on the 3. And I'll just gently score that. And if you feel like it's too heavy of a score, then you can just measure it and fold it. It probably doesn't. This bag is a little bit lighter weight than the original bag I used, and it probably doesn't even need to be scored. Okay, now how I put these together, I did it differently. So I had 1 bag, I had the opening over here on the left, like here. So it folds back and I have that little tuck place. Let me get a paper here to help you see it. So it's got this little place. And the other bag, I'm going to fold opposite way, like so. So the opening is going to be on the right. And I'm just going to set those together. And this one's going to look different because remember, we didn't trim off that rough edge. We kept it the same. So I'm going to set this aside. And then I cut some blue color vibe, 5.5 by 3.5-ish. And then I'm going to score it about halfway. I lost my blade here. I got to get it back in there, my cutting blade. Okay, so 3.5 by 5.5. So that's going to be maybe 2 3/4-ish. So I'm scoring that. And oops. I'm just going to fold that. So I've got a little booky piece. And then I use the frosted flowers, and you can use something else if you want. And it's 7.5 by 4-ish. And I'm scoring at 3.5. I don't want to score in the middle on this one. So I'm scoring it at 3.5. And then I'm folding that one. Let me get this out of the way. So here's just a review. Now, if you have, if your bags are really thin, you probably don't need to score them. You can just fold them. But at 2.75 from the opening and 3 inches from the opening. Now, these measurements were from cutting the edge off. So this book is going to be a little bit wider than my other one. And then we had the blue color vibe. That was 5.5 by 3.5-ish. And scored it in half. And then we have our frosted flowers, which 7.5 by 4-ish. And we scored that at 3.5. Okay. Caramels are the best reason for Erica to shop there. I know exactly who that is because we've chatted before. Okay, I think you are who I think you're who I think you are. Okay, so now we're going to put everything together the way that we would like it to be. And what I'm just looking to see how I did this because you can do however you want. I'm going to slip my first bag because I want a little shorter on the front there. Then I'm putting in this little piece of blue. Then I'm going to put my other bag with the opening here, and then I'm going to put my piece like so in the middle here. And that is going to be my book. And I'm going to, now if you have some little clips or something, which I think I do, you can clip pieces together to kind of help hold it together. And if you don't, and I didn't on my first one, I just held it with my hands, we're going to need some type of piercing tool. Now, the real thing that people use when they make books is they use an awl, which we have those available. This one is a Taylor Seville, and it's $12.99, and we have another choice also. And this one does have a cap on it. And you can see how they're piercing stitching lines. They're piercing a lot of different things. Now, if you don't have that, but you have the Tim Holtz retractable craft pick, that is what I have in my tool chest. So I'm just going to poke a couple holes. I'm not really measuring. I'm just kind of guessing. And I'm poking it in as far as I can. And then I'm going to poke another one here. You just want to make sure that you don't poke it past your pieces. You want to make sure you include everything. Okay, now I had another card with a tip. And I'm not sure where that went. Okay, well, that's okay. So then with my original sample, you can see that it's tied on, it's tied in a knot and a bow. If you want to tie it on the outside, then you're going to start your stitch from the outside. And if you want to tie it on the inside, oh, and my stuff all just slipped. So I'm going to have another tip for you here in a second. And that tip is you could put a little repositionable adhesive. If you're having trouble getting things to stay together, oh, I had to bend way over for that. You could put a little bit of repositionable adhesive on your, especially one that's not out like mine is. So you could put a little bit on your pages to hold them, to keep them in place for stitching. So I have my needle here. I've already threaded it. This is the Gotcha tool from Spellbinders, and I've got it stuck on there. I've got some of that blue twine on it. This is also where I have my tweezers because you know how I lost something. I mean, I lost a whole project. So if I start my needle from the inside, I'm going to be tying it on the inside. If I start my first stitch from the outside, I'll tie it from the outside. Now my other one is tied on the outside, so this one we're going to tie on the inside. So I'm pulling my needle through, but not all the way. You got to leave some in there, and then I'm going back through this hole, and then pull that through. And let me pull a little bit of this. Now, was it easy to thread this needle? No. It's a wide-eye needle, and we carry that. We have some that will be coming back in stock probably today or tomorrow, if you were interested in getting something like that. Oh, I think I've grabbed my tail. So then I went back through the hole that I started in, and now I'm back here on the outside again, and then I go back through here. We're almost done, you guys. And I pull it through. This twine is really shedding a lot. Got a lot of little blue. Okay, look at what it did. Look what's left in my needle. I got to put this back on my gotcha tool so I don't lose it. And you see I've got a couple dies on here, and these are dies that I don't know where they go, what package. So I keep them on there, and someday I'm going to figure it out. So then I've got my jute twine in here, and I just can tie it in a knot. Oops, and I actually broke that off. Probably because I didn't thread it very well. So I'm going to just tie it in a bow. And then I'll show you where we're at. Now we do have some hemp twine that I recommend, maybe even more than this jute twine. It's a little stronger. Okay, let me get all that fuzzies off. Wow. So this time the outside of my spine is just a clean tie, and then I have the bow on the inside. So now your book is ready to embellish. And it doesn't look like much here, but once you start adding some paper, I might take this piece here and use my corner rounder and just stick it in there and round that up like that. It makes it a little more finished. You can see how nice that looks. And if I do it on one side, I'm probably going to do it on the other side. Whoops, didn't get that one quite all the way in. There we go. All right, and then you can decorate. You can add paper to it. This one, like I said, is going to be a little bit wider because we didn't trim off this little piece here. That piece right there, we left it on. And this one was cut flush. Now, if you don't, maybe you're like, oh, I don't want to do that stitching and trying to thread my needle. There is another option. If you have a long reach stapler, or We Are Makers has a long reach stapler from, it's called the cinch stapler, and it will staple inside. The way it works is pretty cool. We had one out and we were using it here at Memory Bound. And this will staple your spines. So if you want to make little booklets, it's $24.99, but you're like, oh, I don't want to do all that. And it does take standard staples. So that's a great option. Okay, Thelma's going to call me and give me a tip on how to thread a difficult needle. Oh, yay, Thelma. We would love that. We definitely would love that. Okay, so let's take a little journey through this book here, and you'll see that you can do the same thing. I just wanted to show you the shell, and then I'm just going to show you what I ended up doing, because it might depend on what you have left. And you could make this for any theme. It could be for Valentine's, it could be for graduation, a birthday. And here is the one that I made, and I'm going to get the camera a little closer so we can zoom in on it a little better. So let me do some adjusting, everybody, and get this out of the way. And remind myself to get a refill on my repositionable adhesive because it is out. You can see by the orange. Now, so what I did was, I was the last one to make a project with this bundle. So I had used like the leftovers. And one thing that nobody used, oh, I didn't get any of these. Doug, can you go have somebody grab me the Project Life cards in both sizes? There's Nicole right there. So one thing that you got in your bundle are these Project Life cards. And on one side, these are approximately 4x6, and on one side they're horizontal, and on one side they're vertical, which is really nice for journaling in your scrapbooks. What I did was I cut it in half because 4x6 was too big. So I cut it in half, and then I just added a little bit of leftover paper I had. And then this is a ticket, and there were these blue tickets, and you guys thank Teresa for these because she picked these out for the bundle. So there were the blue tickets in there, and if you like the tickets, you can get 10 of the double tickets for $1.29. And thank you, Judy, because she suggested we package them, so we did. And there's 10 in here, and they're all double. So you could either have a raffle or you could use them in your craft projects. So what I did was I cut my card in half, whoops, and then I just folded over the ticket and I stapled it. And you could use your tiny attacher for that, or you could use your stapler. Thanks, Nicole. Can you get me the little ones too,
We
please?
only have the big one.
Okay, all right. So here's the Project Life cards. You get 100 and they're $8.99. And like I said, they're going to be vertical on one side, and when you look at the back, they're going to be the horizontal. And I just cut it in half to have a 3x4. And you guys, I learned that from Katie. So she taught us that a long time ago. And that first little part of my bag that I cut off, they fit in here perfectly. And when I put the little tickets on for my tabs, I made it so that they were 1, 2. I need one more, and then I could have 3 tabs here. And I just put some paper on the front. And once you start covering it with paper, it gets a lot more sturdy. And then you open it up, and I've got that, there's that little blue piece. And these are fussy cut from some of the paper. And Katie's going to be doing that Thursday on her card. You'll see how we kind of just fussy cut pieces. It's really cute, I think. And then this was the piece of the other bag, and I just put some paper on it. This could be, I glued this down solid, but it could easily be a little tuck piece to slip a picture or something in there. And then I've got warm winter wishes. And this is that other piece. This is the center of the book right here. And I don't know why I did this, but here's just a little technique. I just punched 2 little holes. You can see them there, I think, and just tied some of that twine in there. Just for something different. And then here's the opening from the bag. And this is, I guess we're out of these. We're going to have to reorder them. This is the 3x4 card. And this time I took 2 of the tickets and I just attached them back to back for a tab. Because you want to have something that shows to pull this out. And a tab is a great way to do it. And we have tab punches and tab dies. This was just a way to use the tickets. And I could journal on there or put a photo. And then on the back here, this is the back of that blue piece that we cut out. And then on the back, I put one of the little 3x4 cut apart pieces. And I scored it. Right here, I scored it. And then I used score tape to attach it down. This is the Simple Stories method. They do this on a lot of their books. And if you do that, you're going to want to use score tape, like a 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch is the best for that. 1/4 inch is probably our best selling size. So if you don't have score tape and you want to try it out, I would suggest you get the 1/4 inch because it fits a lot of different things. And then it just is a little flap. Now, if you wanted to, let's see, that's Let It Snow. So let me just grab, I have another one here. And let me score it. Let's see, I think I'll score it at a 1/2 inch. Oops, sorry, we're off the camera. So I'm just going to score it with my scoring board. And I'm going to do it a little different this time to show you both ways. Now, I spilled my water when I was working in my room. You can see this got wet. So it does happen. This time I'm going to fold it down. And then you'll be able to see the difference. I think it's kind of nice to see the difference. So I'm folding it down, so it's going to be a little shorter. So let me find that other book, which is right here. And I'm going to put I brought some score tape, so I'm going to put a piece of score tape on there. What we love about score tape is you can just tear it off. You don't have to cut it with scissors, and it's very strong. One year, you guys, many years ago when our daughter was younger and she needed a pair of like sparkly flip-flops, we used score tape and we wrapped it all the way around her sandals, and then we dumped like glitter and gems on them, and it lasted. She wore them several times, so it was pretty darn good. So if I take this piece now, instead of leaving it flat, I'm going to fold it backwards. I'm going to put it in the same spot, but just, whoops, I'll just give you an idea of the different ways that you could do it. Oh, Chris just brought me something, so I'll show that to you too. So there's a couple different ways. This way, what you would do is you're going to put paper here and it'll go right over the top of your flap. You know, I probably would put a wider piece and then this just flaps over the top. So hopefully that's understandable. It's just two different ways. And Chris says if you put your score tape in the wrong place, all you need is a little undo. And this is miracle. This is a miracle fluid, everybody. It works at home. If you buy a dish or a candle and you can't get the sticker off, this does it. It dries and it just goes away. It does not leave a nasty film like Goo Gone. And the undo is $15.99. Okay, well, that gives you an idea of the little booklet. Remember when you stitch it, this is something I'm going to remember now. Wherever you start your needle is where you're going to tie it. So if you start on the outside, tie your bow on the outside. If you start on the inside, you'll tie your bow on the inside. So let's see if we have any questions. Let me get out our projects that we made today. Get those cards. We have just a little bit of a mess, not too bad. So there's all of our little books and our cards. And let me take a look to see if you guys have any questions that I can answer for you about anything. Oh, Sharon's inspired to try the book. So I love that, Sharon. She's inspired to try a little booklet like this. And remember, if it's really little, you might be able to use a normal stapler. If it's bigger, you're going to need a long reach, or you can stitch it. Carla says that undo is a lifesaver, and it's so true. I had loaned some to my mom, and she was giving it back to me, and I said, why don't you keep it? And she says, I don't need it. And then I looked over, and she had a candle in the window with a big old sticker on the side of it, so it worked on that very well. Cindy loves the treat bag and booklet. Thank you. Thanks for the hearts, you guys. That's really nice. Rhonda says undo has saved her multiple times. And Diane can't survive without her undo. And then there was a comment earlier that said you could stick this in a pocket in another project, in a scrapbook album or a mini album or a junk binder. And you really could. It's very flat and very small. So I love all of that. Love the booklet. She wants a whole box of caramels. Yes, you can, Heidi. Heidi wants to purchase a whole box of caramels, and it has been done. Just ask Chris. She'll tell you how to do it. And Val's talking about a second date. I love that. That is so fun. Yesterday, Doug, I know you weren't here, but we talked about it being a blind date, and we had a lot of people that met their spouses on a blind date, and many of them had been married like 50 some years, which is really cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, tomorrow. So let me tell you about tomorrow, and then I want to tell you a little something about Tim Holtz, and then we'll let everybody go. So tomorrow, oh gosh, look at all these cool projects. Nicole's going to be here tomorrow, and she's going to be making this coaster. And I think you'll enjoy that. And then Thursday, Katie will be here, and she's making a couple cards, and she's got this neat technique where it's got like a background and 3 strips as kind of a fun little formula. So she'll be here for that. And Carolyn says she can't wait for the Lex projects. All the projects are super cute. Oh, you guys, thank you so much. All right, well, we're going to go back to our main camera. And I just want to tell you thank you a whole bunch for joining us today and for being on our second blind date. I don't know, is your second date considered a blind date, or maybe you're got a date with somebody new? I don't know, but we really appreciate it. And I want to thank Katie and Teresa and Sarah for playing along with us and doing the projects on the blind date. It's always fun to collaborate and see what different people come up with. And we are in the works of planning some more blind dates. So get ready for that. And if you didn't get a blind date kit or have a clue what I'm talking about, we had a project kit called Blind Date with a Project. And this one was the Magic of Winter. And it's an idea that I got from bookstores. And you might have seen where you can buy a book and it's wrapped in brown paper and it's a blind date with a book. And you don't know what it is. You might know if it's a mystery or romance or whatever, but you don't know what the book is. And that's what we did here. And I thought it was really fun. And I think maybe you're enjoying it also. So thanks for playing along. I want to mention that the Tim Holtz palette paper packs are on order for Memory Bound. They are coming. It's probably going to be the last week of the month when they arrive. If you want to pre-order them, you can pre-order them, and it just reserves them for you when they get here. But he is releasing his palette fabric, which you know we carry. We've been on that program in a paper form, which I think is great. And it's the same patterns, the same colors, but it's going to be paper in an 8x8 and a 12x12. And you can go online and check them out. You can pre-order if you want. You can order them later. It's $7.99 for the 8x8 and $12.99 for the 12x12, which I think is really reasonable. And if you pre-order and you have other items, if you order online and you have other items on your order, just so you know that we're going to hold your order until those paper packs come in, which will be the end of the month, which is, gosh, what, next week? We're hoping they're here the end of next week. But those are available. Thank you, Tim. The pink, red, and orange are the first 3 that are being released. So guess what? The other colors are coming. And I don't know if they're coming out monthly or every other month. I haven't really heard that yet. But we will have all of those here at Memory Bound. And I'm excited about it. I think a lot of you are because we've had a lot of orders. So let's see, Doug, do we have any questions or anything before we sign off?
Nope, just looks like they're looking forward to the next blind date.
Yes, I know. Well, that's tomorrow, and that's with Sarah. So we'll be back tomorrow here at 9:30. Thank you, everybody, for watching and coming along on our blind dates with us. And remember that even if you don't have the blind date bundle, you can do these projects with other collections, like what we showed you. Snow Day and Flannel Season are great options. So have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.